Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Since Raila Odinga made a joint visit with William Ruto in Egypt on 29th of January, the ODM leader has disappeared from the limelight, with insiders speaking about the African Union Commission bid chairperson campaigns coming to an abrupt halt. Fresh details emerge of a plan for Odinga to reset ties with William Ruto. And in this podcast, we are going to look at how ODM seem to have arrived at this decision and the discomfort by the State House team after reports emerged that Raila Odinga met former President Uhuru Kenyatta in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Bold, and here we are going to look at the inside politics on this. But before we get into that, today I have a special case. I have a case for us, and I really want us to come through in this month of February to support Josephine. Look at this story.
Sasa? Nimekuwa nikikuona hata nimekuwa ukikuja huko ukiuza huko na mtoto na kwa hijua for long sana. I think kama like 2 months kwa nikikuona. Una survive aje nimeona mtoto kwa jua?
Ni venye nauzanga melon. Hii ndio kazi yenye niko nayo kwa saa hii. Ndio niweze kulisha watoto.
Melon unapata pesa ngapi?
Melon napata faida ya 200 na nunua na 200. Ndio kwa saa hii juu sina kazi nyingine na niko na watoto, ndio niweze kulisha hao watoto. Juu si huyu peke yake, niko na watoto wengine 2, sasa wote ni 3.
Kuna watoto 3? Na wako class ngapi?
Ule first born second born nampelekanga daycare. Huyu juu ni mdogo, natembea na yeye.
Na baba
yake aliacha kama niko na mimba ya miezi 2, akaniambia ameenda kazi, hajawahi rudi.
Sijui nitamchukua na huko, nataka watu wamuone. Just kesi yake iko very, nataka experience.
Babake alitoka kwa nyumba akaniambia ameenda kazi na hajawahi rudi mpaka wa leo. Hiyo ilikuwa ni last year mwezi wa 4 date 29.
Sasa unaishi peke yako?
Naishi tu peke yangu na watoto wangu 3.
Tukienda zaidi tutapata hiyo. Sasa unaona mtoto ningetaka ufanye hata kama unafanya ile, lakini ile kitu inanigusa sana ni vile unatembea na mtoto kwa jua. Ni hakuna venye unaweza hata kujua na mtoto. Mimi naona
sasa kiupande wangu nikitembea na huyu ama nipate tu mahali tu kuna kivuli, nikae nifanye biashara yangu hapo na mtoto, kama tumekaa chini, hiyo itakuwa ni better.
And the story is deep. Huyu mtoto amebeba alizaliwa, when I asked, alizaliwa when had to be, lazima alitolewa kama when she was 6 months pregnant, kwa sababu alikuwa amefanyiwa CS 2, hao watoto wawili ameongelea. So this other one had to be now separated the mother earlier because she could not undergo through another operation. So she even underwent through that to deliver that baby, and her story is very deep. Ladies and gentlemen, hands off. Let's do something. What I'm going to do, I know we are going to make sure we pay for her house rent for the 12 months. We are going to do that, and also on Monday we'll pay the school fees for the child, that one who is in school, and the same time also have some shopping for her. Then we are going to open a business for her so that afanye biashara yenye anafanya kama amekaa. We really had a discussion, and kindly let's do something. Josephine is the person we are going to support this month of February. For the new viewers here, every month we normally do one charity project, and that's why in this month it is our turn to do Josephine, to support Josephine. Kidogo kidogo jaza kibaba. Anything you get, any amount you get, we are going to change Josephine's fortune. On Friday, the president was supposed to be the chief guest in the inaugural official opening, the chief guest in the official opening of the inaugural Nyanza Investment Conference in Kisumu. And even media outlets reported that president's team flew to Kisumu on Thursday, his advance team, with reports that Raila and Ruto were going to share podium in Nyanza on Friday. But again, a last-minute call from State House emerged, and the president sent his deputy to Kisumu, Kithure Kindiki, choosing to continue with the charm offensive in Isiolo. We understand the Isiolo event, the extension of his stay in Northeastern to do the Isiolo event was not informed, was not part of the plan. The president was supposed to be in Northeastern for 3 days. Then the 4th day, he was supposed to be in Kisumu. So he sent Kindiki, and in that Friday event, even Raila Odinga skipped the event. They were supposed to share podium with the president, and even several ODM MPs were absent, a point that was raised by none other than Oparanya.
While was here, he lamented everything that we have not done. We complained about the structure of governance that we had. We devolved. Counties were established so that development is closer to the people. Where is the problem? The problem is within the leadership. When there was introduction here, how many leaders are here? When they called the MCS, how many MCS stood? When they called members of parliament, how many stood? Even when they called permanent secretaries, principal secretaries, you saw the number that was here.
So the tension between Ruto team and Raila had emerged. And that is why they're even saying that those campaigns, remember the election is supposed to be on 15th. Raila Odinga's competitor, the Djibouti candidate, has now intensified his campaigns and has been moving across the continent. And even after Raila team said that they had visited, actually contrary to reports that they had visited 40, no, Raila Odinga had visited 28 African countries. And those are the countries that the government is saying have his full backing. He was supposed to do the last stretch of this campaign between date 1st to date 10. Now, between 1st of February to today 8th, Raila Odinga has not done any campaign, has not visited any country. And now painting a question that those campaigns have come to a halt at a time they were supposed to be heightened. In this same event in Kisumu, James Orengo took an indirect swipe at government, speaking about the feel-good effect that people seem not to have.
And lastly, I want to say this. If people feel good about what is happening, they don't need to be persuaded. They don't need to be persuaded. When Kibaki took over, in the first 6 months, there was a feel-good factor. And I'm challenging ourselves that having gone through these processes and in election circles, we need to take measures that the ordinary Kenyans at the end of the day can say, we feel good, what is happening to us, what services are being delivered to us. And this investment conference will deal with this issue if you can open up the counties and the regions. I don't want to go beyond that. I thank you, and thank you very much, the organizers.
Now, this one, this is the statement from Orengo, and the other present leaders who are there did not attend, and rather did not do a rebuttal, rather did not engage on the politics of Ruto's re-election. Of course, something that was really showing you that even that agenda, that meeting in Kisumu did not go well. Now, let me tell you, something that is very curious is that inaugural Nyanza Investment Conference. It was organized by Owalo, and the education CS from Kisii and some, the committee was not really, did not fully engage the team, and it was organized direct from State House. So it was supposed to create a platform for Odinga and Ruto, and that did not happen. The second other incident that has happened is weeks after the president toured the Western Kenya, ODM party is mobilizing agents to meet on Sunday in Kakamega. The Western Region ODM delegates meeting initially was supposed to happen in Bugungu Stadium. But now it has been changed, and the venue has been changed to be Kakamega Golf Club. This meeting has come at a time that two camps were emerging in ODM. These two camps was the Edwin Sifuna camp and the camp by Opondo Kaluma, who always wanted ODM to support fully the government. Now there have been two voices, and now at this time this meeting is supposed to resolve which voice to reign supreme. After weeks of back and forth between Mbadi, Wandai and Sifuna team seems to have carried the day, because Anyang' Nyong'o, Osotsi, Orengo, Simbarati have all come out defending Sifuna, a position that is clearly supported by Raila Odinga. And you can get, I think, a word from Osotsi here.
Let me also be very clear in line with what I've just said, that Honorable Sifuna is a official spokesman of the party. After the party leader, the official spokesman of the party is the Secretary General. A lot of things that Sifuna speaks, he speaks on behalf of the Central Management Committee. Sometimes I get upset that we meet as Central Management Committee and issue a statement which is read by the Secretary General, and immediately after that Sifuna is attacked for having read a statement that has been processed by the Central Management Committee. I think that's out of order, and when Sifuna speaks in an official meeting, it is a party that is speaking. I'm asking those members who have come out with personal attacks on the Secretary General to slow down.
So this meeting is not sitting well with the President Ruto. Why? Because it is going to undo, and of course one of the things that has really been questioned is the intention of ODM to counterattack the President Ruto's inroads in Western Kenya. When the president was in Western Kenya, there are some few things I said, and I analyzed, I think amongst political analysts, I really analyzed that Western tour, and the two things that came out. The president went to Western, and he was talking about, I have supported Raila Odinga to AUC, and so me and Raila are working together. And I think that was a statement from Musalia Mudavadi, who can defeat us. He spoke about that, and Musalia Mudavadi spoke about it in Huisero, in Luanda and in Busia. So, and even the day they were giving those bonuses, and it kept on emerging that really, what was the intention? With this new AUC support that is coming, the State House constructed a narrative that Ruto and Raila have entered into a political deal. And so, this other issue has happened. Remember, even the experts who were praising Ruto and the ODM really questioned their psychophancy, seem to have surrendered. Joho, Mbadi, Wandai, the three who had been supporting President Ruto psychophantically in public, seem to have slowed down, or of course surrendering to the party pressure. In my village in Masumbi, and may God rest Richard Olo in peace, in my village today, remember Willis Otieno lost his father. Lost his father. The father has battled, had been sick for some time. So the burial was today in Masumbi village. And there was a guest from Cumberland. This guest was none other than Wavinya Ndeti. This guest was hosted by James Orengo, who is the Siaya governor, who invited her in that event. And of course, Wavinya Ndeti, Willis had also been Wavinya Ndeti's lawyer. Yeah, that is something that if you check, you'll find out. Wavinya Ndeti's lawyer, Willis had also acted for Wavinya Ndeti. And during that funeral, there is a statement that Wavinya Ndeti made there. And I want you to get it.
Unajua sisi kama jamii ya Wakamba tumesupport baba sana. Miaka 15. 15 years. Tukiwa nyuma yenu. Na hiyo miaka 15 Raila alipata kura mingi. Hata kushinda, and I can give you the figures because I have them. Hata kushinda constituencies zingine za hapa Ujaluoni. Mimi nataka kuambia governor, mimi nimechaguliwa na chama ya Wiper na Kalonzo Musyoka ameamua kuomba kiti ya rais. Kwa hivyo sasa nyinyi ni marafiki zetu, tumetembea na nyinyi miaka 15, kujeni hata nyinyi mtembee na sisi. Sindio hivyo? 15 years of sacrificing. Sisi mpaka hata nilikuwa kasichana.
Now, this in politics, it doesn't just happen. They are not just spoken for the sake of speaking. And it's a clear message of the signal that Orengo and the team were saying. Now, it is highly anticipated that William Ruto's charm offensive in Northern Corridor is a clear, and in fact he went there and made a very, a very rattling decision about that ID. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do some analysis next about it. That was a blunder, or rather that was a statement that was made, and it was a clear sign that the President Ruto was afraid of the Western support. He's afraid of what can happen in Western, and has now opted for that. With reports emerged that earlier in February, the Raila Odinga actually was in New York for some 2 days, met with former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And immediately after that, things emerged that President Uhuru Kenyatta came out to endorse CS Matiang'i, former CS Matiang'i, for the presidency. The reports of Raila Uhuru reunion is coming at a time that the country is talking about 2027 politics. So what could be the interpretation of Ruto Raila fallout? Why the AUC campaigns might have come to a halt. 3 possibilities are here. Raila might have realized that AUC the chances are narrow. And not that the chances are narrow, but the state house is not very keen on taking there. Remember, all this, we've always been saying that Raila Odinga going to AU. Number one, the President William Ruto is looking at it in terms of what do I gain? What do I gain from it? If Raila is, and there have been this narrative, there have been this projected, this projection that when Raila goes to AU, then I will be able to inherit Raila Odinga constituency. And I was asking someone, who is telling you that Raila is willing to hand over that Raila constituency? Who is willing? I've been asking that question. Who is willing? Who is? How sure are you that Raila is willing to hand over that constituency? My casual reasoning is here. Raila is not going to hand over that constituency, even if he wins that seat. So I think it's realized that even the state is not ready. And I can say here, if that vote is by secret ballot, I might not be shocked to realize that probably even William Ruto is not voting for Raila. If behind the scene, you might even realize behind the scene, Ruto is even convincing these East African countries not to vote for Raila. I'm telling you, it's very possible. I don't trust. I've always been saying Raila Odinga's chances as AU are there, but I don't trust that campaigner. Why? Not because campaigner is not able. It's because the campaigner is a political schemer. The interest of Kenya in Raila Odinga's AUC position is what makes the whole thing not looking, not very truthful. The other issue here is Raila might have realized that Ruto endorsement is going to kill ODM party. And I have to say this, whatever, as someone might want to look at it. If Raila tries to force ODM into submission to endorse William Ruto for re-election in 2027, let me tell you, Sifuna will walk out of ODM with half of that party, and that party will remain in some few corridors in Nyanza. It will not exist. Remember, Sifuna has a constituency in Nairobi. That constituency, he cannot make a political relevance with that constituency. The Babu winners in 2027, of course they've stayed in ODM, but in 2027, it might emerge that walking out of ODM is more fashionable than staying there to endorse William Ruto. Yes. Because, and that, these are the realities that are there. We have to say, these are the realities that are there. I spent better part of my weekend in Nyanza, in Kisumu, and I can attest. We attended the burial for Charles. The kind of statements by some local politicians speaking there. No one is talking about broad-based in Nyanza, and Raila knows it. Oh, he knows it. He knows no one is speaking about that language of broad-based. The other issue is, a working force with Uhuru Kenyatta stands a big chance to dislodge William Ruto in 2027. Stands a big chance. Whoever candidate, and it's true, whoever the candidate, if a candidate is going to be supported by Raila and Ruto by Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta in 2027, that candidate will beat William Ruto and he will do nothing about it. Even as people tell you that we will steal. Hakuna kitu kama kuiba. Hakuna kitu kama kuiba. That story is neither here nor there. Kama kuiba iko, I'm telling you, Raila would have been the president. Uhuru angemuibia. Hakuna kitu kama kuiba. Ukishindwa hiyo story imeisha. This issue of we will add votes, we'll do that, it's a fear narrative. And the public must get wary of that. You are being, mtu anaogopesha. It's a fear mongering. But it will sense. No there. Thank you.